If there's one thing that will frustrate me more than anything, it's feeling like I don't have the capacity and the skills to bring ideas that I have to life. The creativity and the initial spark is there, but there's just a gap between what I can actually do with that idea and what the idea requires. That's why when I was at Canva Create recently, I perked right up when I heard about one of their new features they were launching called Canva Code. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It's essentially ChatGPT, but for coding interactive experiences. You're supposed to be able to just tell it what you want it to make, and then it generates the code for you. But a lot of AI stuff is like 60% talk, 40% value. So I wanted to really put it to the test, and I thought it would be fun to kind of see what this actually can do. I have some fun little ideas that have been rolling around in my head for a while, and I'm going to try to see if Canva Code can help me create them. So let's see what it can do. As someone who grew up loving fashion, technology, and the movie Clueless, I was always yearning for that closet computer outfit generator thing. So this was literally the first thought that I had in my mind when Canva Code was announced is, I wonder if I can build this. So I want to create something that uses AI to help suggest outfits using clothes from my actual closet. So that would involve me uploading all of my pieces of clothing, which would be a lot of work on me, but I think it would be worth it in this case. And then being able to give it certain prompting things like weather, occasion, general feeling, and see if AI can help put together those outfits using my actual clothes. So I'm no stranger to AI tools in general, so I know that the trick to getting a good outcome is to put in a good prompt. So I'm going to try to provide it as many details as possible that are relevant to the output that I'm trying to create. So I think that prompt should be good enough to tell it everything that I want it to do. So we will see what it creates. It's kind of cool seeing it code, like you can actually see all the individual lines of code that are being created as it's generating this. The examples they did at Canva Create had like, I don't know, like 200 plus lines of code. So I'm curious how many lines of code this is going to take, especially since it seems like a kind of complex ask. We have an output. It is not the most beautiful designed thing. I don't see anywhere where I can save my pieces of clothing. So let's see. It's rainy, going to work, confident, earth tones. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if this is good or not because I can't see what the actual clothing is. I'm going to ask it. I'll need to add an upload feature. So it sounds like it needs a little bit more hand-holding. I told it that I would be uploading my outfits later or my clothing pieces later. It didn't actually create a method for me to upload those. So I think it has to be a little bit more specific than even I anticipated. Okay, so now we have a couple tabs in here. My wardrobe, where I can upload something. Let me see what it is like if I have to upload something new. I would hope that AI would have been able to kind of categorize this myself so I don't have to check the suitable weather and suitable occasions. And it seems like it's not really AI doing it for me, but it's better than nothing. I'm going to try using it in design and see what happens. It's not very cute. I wonder if I can redesign it in here. Looks like you're not able to make any edits to the design itself, which kind of sucks, but not necessarily surprising. Let me try to publish the website and see how it is for me to actually interact with it. This is so buggy. So that one might have been a little bit too complex, that I'm not necessarily holding it against Canva for not being able to do that, because it was kind of a complex task that I feel like an AI having a sense of style could be hard. So let me try something that still might be kind of difficult, but a little bit easier than that, I think. So another clothing related one, I guess, but I have had this, I wouldn't say problem, it's not a huge problem, but sometimes I see a piece of clothing online and I really like it and I want to make it myself, but it's kind of hard to tell exactly how to make it without holding it in your hands. So I want to see if this app that I want to build can somehow use a picture of clothing from Pinterest or anywhere that I find it online and see if they can find a sewing pattern that looks really similar to it. I don't have high hopes for this, but we'll see what it can do. Okay, it says since we can't actually process real image uploads in this environment, I'll create a simulation that shows how this would work. So maybe that was the problem with the outfit generator, is that it can't use actual pictures or cues from the pictures to be able to determine like criteria to build an outfit. So this one is not going to be helpful at all. I will just consider this one a fail. And noted, it can't process images. Okay, so last one. I think this one should be pretty simple. I'm hoping that it can do this. If it can't do this, then maybe this tool isn't that useful to me. Maybe I'm just thinking too big. I don't know. We'll see how it does it. So as a total cinephile, I always find myself having a very, very specific idea in mind for a movie that I want to watch that is like just so niche that it's like, I want it in this time period. I want it to be this kind of a vibe in this location. So I'm going to see if I can create a tool where I type in a prompt just in written language about exactly what kind of movie I want to watch. And then I want it to recommend 5 movies to me that would be the best movies to watch. I wonder if AI isn't possible in here, that it's using AI to build this, but I'm wondering if I can't ask it to use AI to do something. And that might be why it's falling short for me, because I want it to be able to use AI to do something. So we'll see. This will be the test of that. While that's loading, I will say one thing that I noticed that's a little bit annoying is that if you want to make a change to your code, it won't just go in and edit the certain lines of code that is relevant to that change that you asked for. It has to go back and completely rewrite the code. So for that outfit one, I think it had like 800 lines of code or something, which takes a decent amount of time. I think I sat there for like 10 minutes or so, 10, 15 minutes. And I'm also concerned about like if it has to do all that code all over again. Then you have the environmental things, the environmental considerations that come along with AI. Like I use AI, but I still try to be somewhat cognizant of that. And I wouldn't want to be overly wasteful, especially with doing such in-depth tasks like this, like generating 800 lines of code. It seems a bit wasteful to have to go back to the very beginning. But again, this could be because I'm trying to do such complex things that it takes a lot more refinement and a lot more back and forth. But I do wish that it could just go back and edit portions of the code, but have the main structure of it remain in place. One thing I'm noticing right now is that it's putting in actual names and descriptions of movies, which makes me think it's just using like sample data for this. And I asked it to pull from Letterboxd. So I want it to be something that is live and kind of like living and breathing. And it doesn't appear that it's doing that. So I'm wondering if it's only going to suggest movies that are from like the sample data that it's adding right now. Okay, so we have our movie mood matcher. let's see, a thriller that is based in the 1960s and so this is, I'm trying to see, since I asked it to pull from Letterboxd, I'm going to see if it can match some of the things that people have said about movies, like the great character development that's a little bit more subjective. This is not right. Parasite and Get Out are not from the 1960s. Social Network is not from the 1960s. These don't even have anything to do with...
Sure.
Let's see. Comedy that has great. Let's see if these actually change the outputs. I wouldn't call The Social Network a comedy. Okay, so this one, I think the interface looks better, but it just is clearly not even getting the basic things, like the genre correct, or the time that the movie is set in. Well, I had really high hopes. I thought that this was going to be a lot more fruitful. I thought I'd at least get one thing that was really good out of this, but maybe I'm just trying to push it a little bit too far. Actually, I'm going to try one more. Let's try something super simple that doesn't reference any kind of external databases, doesn't use AI, because I think that's where it really fell short. Let's see if we can get one win on this. I don't feel right about finishing this video without having anything work out well. So let's lean more into the productivity side of my brain and see if I can create something that will be really helpful for me. I kind of want to see if it can create a to-do list that kind of makes checking things off more fun and makes it feel more like a game. Let's see what it can do. This should be simple, I think. I'm kind of wondering, I'm going to try actually two different prompts side by side. I'm going to do this one where I gave it an idea to do like what the gamification could be, but I'm also at the same time going to do another one where I leave it open to them to choose the gamification. Okay, both popped up side by side. I'm gonna add the same 5 tasks to them. Okay, now let's see what happens when we check them off. This one is the one where I told it that I'm going to be watering my plants. Well, that's kind of cute. Okay, let's see what happens with the other one. Okay, cool. So this one has a streak on there. I don't like, it looks kind of funky, that design. Maybe it's because my thing is... No, it's still like that. And then you get to the next level. Okay, I think that redeemed us. That if you give it something really, really simple to do, it can do it. And I think that's basically the gist of my evaluation of this. Do I think that you can build something super complex, like building a whole app that you can put on the App Store and start making money from? Absolutely not. I think it's pretty far from this, and it struggles to keep up with any kind of, even the most base level complexity, that it's really only good at doing really, really, really simple things. But I think that's kind of all most people would need it for, like building a simple to-do list, or if you want to build a database to put all of your ideas or something. I feel like I bring everything back to Notion as like the biggest Notion fangirl, but it's essentially like what you could do with building a database on Notion, but adding some extra layers of personalization, a little bit of interactivity. But it does struggle with, even though you can personalize it, it's not very easy to like truly personalize the design and make it look really nice. It all kind of looks a little generic. But I'm interested to see where it goes in the future and see how that progresses. And maybe it's just on me too to figure out the best use cases for this that is kind of the most in its wheelhouse. So am I a little disappointed? Yes, but it's okay. We had fun in the process.